In this Demon Souls beginner guide, getting started tips and tricks I wish I knew before playing, we'll point out useful things I wish I'd known when starting playing Demon Souls Remake. Whether you're new to the Souls series or a seasoned veteran, here are several tips to get you going. The following is a quick list for game veterans so that you get an idea of what is new. There's new armor, weapons, and items, and we've listed these on the wiki pages. Some items have been renamed, so instead of sticky white stuff, you now find sticky white slime. Multiplayer has been changed to up to 6 players. If you need to respec, check the D-level page on the wiki. The weight of certain items has been increased, notably Full Moon Grass. There is a password option for multiplayer. Omnidirectional rolling has been added. The game's camera collision angle has a fix available, or you can play original camera mode. Each weapon type has a unique animation. This is merely cosmetic and does not change the speed of the attacks. Bosses and enemies may break environmental props. This is merely cosmetic. Music has been re-recorded with an orchestra. There is a new statue of Reflection in the Nexus that you can offer 25,000 souls to unlock menus for a customized character, seek forgiveness, or enter the Fractured World. A new Fractured mode is a mirror mode that reverses the map. Filters for brightness, black and white, and overall color experiences are available. There is no 6th Broken Archstone content. Souls are both your experience and main currency in Demon Souls, but this game puts a specific emphasis in the usage of said souls for specific purposes. You'll be hunting for boss souls to get new spells and miracles, but most importantly, you'll want to secure the Red Hot Demon Soul and bring it to Blacksmith Ed so that you can unlock boss soul upgrades. Make sure you do this as soon as possible, and make sure to upgrade your weapons as this will have significant effect on your build. If you need to farm souls, the best way to get them is to assist other players as a Blue Phantom. If you want to farm in your own world, the best early souls are granted by the skeletons in the Shrine of Storms, but make sure to bring fire and blunt so that you deal the best possible damage. You are likely wondering what is a good path to follow. We have a full game progress route on the wiki, but what you can see on the screen is an overview of that route. Most Souls players are by now used to talking to an NPC to level up. For Demon Souls, you will be talking to the Maiden in Black at the Nexus, but you'll only be able to speak to her after defeating the first boss of the game, which is the Phalanx in Boletarian Palace. Be mindful that your selected stats are there to stay. If you need to respec, you'll need to D-level, and we have a dedicated page on the wiki on how to reduce your soul level and therefore your stats. Check it out if you want to change your build later on, or make use of the wiki's suggested builds to keep a good character. Demon Souls works somewhat different to other Souls games as it has both equip burden and item burden. Equip burden essentially affects the movement of your character depending on the armor and weapons you have equipped. So if you have an armor set that is of light weight, chances are your character will move fast when running, stamina consumption will be less, and when you dodge roll, you'll be able to execute fast rolls, making it easier for your character to dodge attacks, etc. However, if you use heavy equipment, you'll most likely move slower when you are running, your character will consume more stamina, and this will also result in fat rolling when you are dodging. Item burden, on the other hand, determines the overall weight that your character can carry. If you go beyond the amount of weight you can carry, the game will basically stop you from carrying any more items until you free up some space. Equip burden can be upgraded by assigning points to the endurance stat, while item burden can be increased by adding points to vitality. In conjunction with item burden, there's also an item that you want to consider looking for that will help in increasing the capacity of carrying items, and that is the Ring of Herculean Strength. To get this, you have to get the Jade Hair ornament from the Boletarian Palace and speak to Stockpile Thomas at the Nexus. Exhaust his dialogue, and eventually he'll notice that you have an ornament, and he'll ask if he can have it. In exchange, he'll give you the ring. There isn't a best class in the game, but there are 2 classes that stand out for providing useful starting equipment. There are 2 classes that are recommended for new players to begin with, and those are the Royalty class and Temple Knight. The Royalty class provides you with a helpful spell with a ranged ability, and this helps you until you get the hang of dodging, defending with the shield, and parrying. This class is arguably the best setup for an interesting Mage Glass Cannon build, so a great option for the magically curious. On the other hand, the Temple Knight is also a great starting class since its starting stats are good enough for melee combat. It also starts off with decent equipment and armor, in addition to a talisman to cast the already learned Heal Miracle. The core mechanics of Demon Souls will be familiar to those who have played the other entries among From Software's releases. Learning when to block, when to dodge, and how to parry are key components of combat, as is the situational awareness to divide and conquer when approaching mobs. If you want to practice these combat mechanics, the best way to do so is to travel to the Boletarian Palace and fight against the Dreglings. Don't get frustrated if you don't get it at first few runs, it's okay, just keep practicing until you get the hang of it. You'll also want to make it a habit to raise your shield at all times as much as possible. Enemies in Demon Souls can be sneaky as hell, so use your shield. Your shield is your best friend, and you may not realize this, but raising your shield can save your life. We have builds on the wiki if you need help optimizing your equipment and stats, but if you want to do your own thing but feel underpowered, I suggest you head over to the Shrine of Storms early on and kill the few big and scary skeletons there for a significant wealth of souls in order to level up a bit faster. Melee combat is effective against most of the enemies in the game, but you may want to consider being a versatile fighter and try to use ranged weapons as well as bows, crossbows, and even some spells. Being at range can be very useful for avoiding traps, ambushes, and ganks, and can also give you a chance to get a few shots in before you have to trade blows with a tough opponent. You should also keep in mind that Demon's Souls features various damage types and enemies have specific weaknesses accordingly. Skeletons, for example, tend to be weak to blunt and fire damage, while the rockworms of Stonefang will be better dispatched with magic damage. The world tendency mechanic of Demon's Souls determines a world state and triggers several events and NPC quest lines. You can view the current status of your tendency by jumping into the main menu and selecting World Tendency. The remake has a clear display of what world is in which state, as well as your character's own inclination. Both character and world tendencies can either turn white or black, but when you start the game, you'll have a neutral tendency for both categories. As you play, your actions will switch your own character alignment, character tendency, as well as the world state, world tendency, based on your actions. Good deeds and killing demon bosses will make it move toward white, and doing bad actions or simply dying in body form will cause your tendency to turn black. The bad news for new players is that if you die repeatedly and turn your world tendency black, that area will become more brutal and much more challenging, and you'll most likely run into Black Phantom NPCs. The silver lining is that killing these stronger enemies and Black Phantom NPCs will handsomely reward you with more souls, rare loot, and eventually shift the tendency back to white if you perform good actions or, say, defeat the boss of that certain location. White tendency, on the other hand, will make enemies easier to kill in exchange for less souls and less valuable items, but with increased healing item drops. Overall, the world and character tendency systems are complex and engaging, and if you want to find out all the details, you can visit our wiki that has a dedicated information page on all available tendency events. Demon's Souls has no hollowing, but your character does have two forms that affect your stats and what you can do in-game. The default state is body form, a corporeal and alive version of you that has full HP and can perform tasks such as summoning others. When you die, you will enter soul form. When you're in soul form, the maximum HP of your character is halved and you are no longer able to summon other players in your world or be invaded. The good news is that if your character tendency is white, you will deal more damage in this form. If you want to play in soul form, then make it a priority to get the Cling Ring from the Boletarian Palace, as it will increase your soul form health to 75%. Now, how do you return back into your body? There are various ways to do so. You either kill a boss, invade another player's game as a Black Phantom and kill the host, use a Stone of Ephemeral Eyes that will revive you back into your body and grants full health at any given time, be summoned as a Blue Phantom and help in killing a boss or by killing the host of the game. Online and multiplayer is slightly different than the original and is now closer to Dark Souls, allowing up to 6 players in an online session. You'll gain access to online co-op by talking to the Maiden in Black after defeating the Phalanx Demon. To use the stone, players must be in soul form and in the area that allows Blue Eye Stone. Also, to use it, players must be online. You need to be at the same level range in order to be summoned. You only need 1 Blue Eye Stone. It's reusable. You can use the summon range calculator to determine if players can connect with each other in online play. Players can only see blue summon signs if their owners are within 10 levels, plus or minus an additional 10% of their current character level. That means, for example, that if you are a level 100 player, you can choose to summon anyone between level 80 and level 120, and a level 30 player can choose to summon anyone between level 17 and 43. Your actions in multiplayer will affect your world and character tendency. You need a Black Eye Stone and a Red Eye Stone for PvP. These are attainable later in the game, so check out their pages on the wiki for details. You can now set region lock and password matchmaking, and even make it so passworded phantoms can bypass level range limits. So there you have it. There are a couple of essential things new players will need to know upon playing the highly anticipated remake of Demon's Souls. For more guides, builds, and walkthroughs, be sure to check out our official Demon's Souls wiki, and be sure to stay tuned to our YouTube channel.